Good morning, my amazing friends. We're starting the second week of radiation and feeling pretty good. No skin irritation. I last week I was tired, but I couldn't tell if it's fatigue from the radiation or me staying up too late on my phone. And I had a couple of really super early morning. Actually, every single morning was early because even if I didn't have to get up, I was getting up at 4. And my alarm doesn't go off until 5:15, and so getting up at 4 and then just sort of laying there for a while, and then right when you start to doze back off, the alarm goes off. So there was a whole lot of not getting quite as much sleep. So I started going to bed earlier, which I needed to do anyway. And I'm still, what's fascinating is I'm seeing a hit to my body battery. Cause I wear my Garmin, because it doesn't count if you don't turn on your Garmin. So I'm noticing my body battery is not recovering like it should. Now, again, lack of sleep, but even this weekend it didn't, because I got plenty of sleep this weekend, and it didn't seem to recover. So I think that my body's starting to register the hit from the radiation. So I'm feeling it a little bit, and I want to give a shout out to my boss, Pammy, who is actually all the ladies over there at Chamber, but Pammy, because she's directly above me, has been so sweet and so kind and so loving and so patient and so encouraging. Honestly, I think she takes better care of me than I do, and that means a lot. So if you know somebody who is unwell, especially if you are, excuse me, above somebody who is unwell, I'm I mean, maybe some people wouldn't appreciate it as much, but I appreciate it. Like, it means the world to me that my boss is understanding. And I can't say enough. I mean, she's just been so sweet to me. And so it makes me want to work even harder. That's the thing, when I think if you're dealing with somebody who is earnest, which I have a lot of failings, but I'm pretty earnest, that if you show them support when they don't feel good, they want to double down and do more for you. So anyway, so shout out to Pammy. What was, oh yeah, so here's something that's interesting. I was talking to a friend of mine. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine, and she said, people are not going to believe that you're okay, that you're handling this, that you're not, that you're telling the truth, that you're fine, emotionally. And I was like, I don't know how to convey more that I am fine emotionally. I mean, I mean, I'm not that good of an actress, y'all. If I don't feel good, I will tell you. And if I don't feel good and I don't tell you, you will see it all over my face. Like, there's a reason why I'm not a professional poker player. And I'll be honest, like I was feeling kind of tired last week, especially towards the end, of the week. And I mean, it was fairly obvious that I was starting to feel it a little bit. So when I say that this is how I'm feeling, this really is how I'm feeling. And I was talking, and then the question is, as I was driving here, I was like, okay, so why? Or actually, I guess it was in the parking lot. I was like, well, why? Why am I doing fine? And I think it is because, well, I mean, several reasons, but one of the reasons is because I faced the fear. I faced my biggest fears. Like, I looked them in the face even before this even started. I looked, what am I afraid of? I'm afraid of losing my family. I'm afraid of disappointing the Lord. I'm afraid, it's even dumb things like I'm afraid of hornets, like all the things that I am ever afraid of. And I look them in the eye, and I reconcile that fear with the Lord. And the thing is, when you do that to your big boss, it's like fighting a video game, or playing a video game. Once you fight the big boss, then you go back, and if you replay it, all the little bosses, they're kind of easy to defeat because you've already fought the big boss. And so the thing that I am afraid of most in my life is losing the Lord. Like, that's it. Like, if I have the Lord, I have everything. If I don't have the Lord, I have nothing, even if I have everything. So the biggie is losing the Lord. But I know that the Lord is faithful, and that he is going to be faithful to me, even when I'm not faithful to him. Which I try to be. I'm not using that as a, oh, well, he'll just take it. No, 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 no. We don't go down that very, very stupid road of arrogance. But we do go down the road of trust in the one who loves us, and understanding that we ourselves are pitiful and weak, and he is not. And so understanding that we will stumble, but he is always faithful, and he is faithfulness. Like, he is the embodiment of faithfulness. And so that is to our comfort, not to our arrogance. Does that make sense? So anyway, so I know that I won't lose God. Well, okay, so losing my family, like, I'm a mom, like, ever since my babies were born. Well, and then even before, when I was married, first married, and I would just cry, because I was like, what if something happens to Ashton? I would sit by the window and cry. And and then he went through his brain tumor, and other things that we've gone through. And I finally, like, I've got to leave this to him, to the Lord. And I lost my mother. And I think this is what helped me, is when I lost my mom. I mean, oh gosh, I can't even tell you what, I mean, y'all who have lost your moms, that is a punch in the gut. And then I thought about it one time. I was like, if I had the ability to bring her back to this world, because I know she's in heaven, I know she's with Jesus. If I had the ability to bring her back, would I ask the Lord to bring her back? And I realized, if I loved her, the answer to that is no, because where she is beautiful and peaceful. And if I really loved her, then I want her to be safe. Where's the safest place ever to be? Is in heaven with the Lord. That's the safest place. Like, if I'm really serious about the people I love, their safety, then I'm not in a hurry for them to leave. I really don't want them. I don't want them to be called home. But when they are, at least I can say they are safe, with the Lord. They are in full joy and full happiness. And so then I think, like, Annalyn just took a big car trip. And I was like, no, Stephanie, you've got to let the Lord, the Lord loves your kids more than you love your kids. The Lord loves your husband more than you love your husband. So, long story short, my point is, the things that I've been most afraid of, once I reconciled them, once I fought the big boss of them in my head, the fear of those things in my head, then there's nothing to be afraid of. So I'm when I do this, when I'm going through this, there's really just nothing to be afraid of, because everything that I'm truly afraid of, that I can't even obviously summon the words to the depths of how much I don't want these things to happen, but I've reconciled all those to the Lord. And so then I trust the Lord. And when you trust the Lord, you trust the Lord, and whether I know he won't leave me. So the biggest of the big bosses is already, like, the fears, that's already completely defeated. If something happens to me, or if something happens to my family, then I know the Lord in every single case is good. In every single case, is merciful and kind. And my family is safe with him, and I am safe with him. So so that makes my other fears, like the fear of going through new treatment, or the fear of scars, or I'm not actually afraid of scars. I think scars are cool, but those are things that people could be afraid of. Those things go away, because I'm like, what is afraid? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it better than that. It's that I fought the big boss of all my fears, so now I don't have anything to be afraid of. And the thing about cancer is the fear. because again, I have to emphasize this so much. Most cancers are nothing. I talked to a fellow in my church yesterday that his wife heard me mention CCI, and it's a young couple. They just had a baby. Oh my goodness, they're just the cutest couple, the cutest family. They're adorable. But she heard me say CCI and she's like, "Excuse me, did you just say CCI? Do you have cancer?" And I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, my husband goes to CCI. He has cancer." I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." And he has a lymphoma that he's going to be. Sorry, that's the alarm. That he is going to be living with for the rest of his life. And so like they're not afraid, they're kind of chill with it. And I've got another friend who had lymphoma, and she is not afraid. She is remission. And Ashton had cancer, and was kind of a one and done. And I know so many people who have had cancer, and it's a blip in your life, and then you move on. And if you don't have the fear, now I do know people who have been desperately ill with cancer, and I know people who have passed from cancer, and that is a reality, but it's not the 100% reality. As a matter of fact, I don't even think it's the 50% reality. I think a lot more people have cancer, get the treatment, move on, and then the thing is we can't let the specter of cancer, we can't let the fear get to us. We have a life to live, and the life is not cancer. The life is our life. And so I would offer, if you are nervous and scared, what if I get cancer, or that sort of stuff, just let the Lord take care of it. Just wait on him and see how he works everything out for the good of those who love him. And there's no way you can lose. If you have the Lord, there's no way you can lose. You may have to go through some things that are really hard, but you can do it. He can give you strength. He will enable you to go through the hard things. You may not feel good. You may feel terrible. You may feel horrible. But you know what? The Lord will sustain you in those times. And then he will allow you to be healed here, or he will have you be healed in heaven. And either way, you win if you have the Lord. So anyway, I got to go in for my next treatment starting the second week and I see the radiation oncologist today. Every Monday I see the radiation oncologist, and I'm just going to say everything's golden. I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.